Right now, we could see a history made in New Mexico. Have you been following the governor's race out there? Susanna Martinez, who's a district attorney,
That's right.
and she's running for governor. She won the GOP nomination, and her running mate for lieutenant governor is also someone named John Sanchez. So we could actually see a
trend there.
well, two the governor and lieutenant governor of the same state, both Hispanic Republicans, which is obviously unprecedented.
Well, we have Marco Rubio in Florida.
I was just going to get to him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right? I got his name here too, a Cuban American. He's in a three-way race right now.
Right.
And there's someone named John Barrera, who's challenging Democrat Representative Martin Heinrich, who's a freshman congressman from New Mexico. So that's the district that includes Albuquerque.
Right.
So we could see a major surge of Hispanic Republicans this year.
When I talk to people all over, Hispanics and Anglos and so forth, I think that the people, maybe the worst thing that ever happened to this country was the election of Obama.
Okay.
But I believe it did something good. I think wake up the American people, because we were going slowly to the socialist train. He's pushing the button now, going 100 miles speed now, running. So people are really scared what's going on in this country, and I don't blame them.
Now, when it comes to certain issues, for example, border security, does the Hispanic Republican Assembly have an official policy about what should be done?
Well, I'm going to speak for myself,
Sure.
so I can represent all the people that are not present here. I believe that, really believe that we need a fence, okay? Because it's like the spill in the Gulf. You cannot try to collect all the oil around if the spill is still bubbling all oil. So you have to cover that. So we have to cover that. And believe me, I am really against amnesty, okay? Because we don't know who is here.
True.
We have to know who is here. Like Mexico knows who is there. We should copy the Mexican laws. Believe me, if we copy the Mexican laws, we will have a problem. In Mexico, going a little further down, outside the conversation a little bit.
Sure.
Mexico, the Mexican record is a disaster. They always complain about America, how bad they treat it here. Well, let me tell you, I have friends coming from Guatemala, women and men, and the authorities in Mexico catch them on that stretch of territory. Sometimes, most of the time, they rape the women. Okay. They take the jewelry. They force them to do things. Sometimes they kill them. They take all the money. So these horror stories from Mexico that is trying to present themselves so pure and so saint in the American public opinion doesn't work. The record doesn't match what they do there. Mexico is a disaster. It's a corrupt nation. They steal each other. You know, my opinion is this: every country should be responsible for their citizens. The role of the government is to make people to be happy in their own homeland, create the jobs, the opportunities, no dump people in other people's backyard, unless extreme circumstances that they have to abandon for X reasons, but I don't go for that. We have people from Somalia coming here illegally. They are not our friends for sure, so people should open their eyes, you know, and be sure that these people don't have any good intentions for us. So we have to take care of the problem. The only solution I see in my own mind, I will, just to make it easy for them, is to get something like a parole that was given to the Cubans when they came here at the beginning. So they say, okay, we're going to extend a parole for 10 years. If you don't commit any crime, you behave, you are a good citizen, we will consider it to make you a legal alien, okay, in a period of 10 years. But just to give a blank amnesty to these people, I think it's crazy.
And the situation with Cuba is different than, let's say, Mexico, because it's an issue of political asylum. I mean, Cuba is, again, a dictatorship, a communist dictatorship, where you can't say the same thing about Mexico or any of the other Spanish-speaking Latin American countries.
Oh, well, that's what I say, extreme circumstances that force people to come here because the political situation in their own country, but those just to be shipping people here or let it go from the country to escape social problems, that's the responsibility of the government. Mexican government, Cuban government, Dominican government have the responsibility to provide for the citizens, you know, to create the opportunities for them, not the United States.
As your organization grows, which it should, do you plan to have, like, say, debates for different candidates, Hispanic or otherwise, or candidates nights to present their campaigns to the Hispanic communities?
We should have that. I think it's a very good idea, and you know, as I said, we are beginning, so
Right.
we don't have still we have a lot of people, enthusiastic people that will participate. Politics is some type of situation that so many people don't want to participate
Right.
because it's dirty, they don't like it, you know, so all these ideas. But unfortunately, if we do not participate, bad people take over.
Right. What about connections, let's say, with other minorities? We know there's an Asian Republicans in Massachusetts. Any interaction with them?
Well, we try. I don't know if you know Bob Simonian. He's a good friend of mine.
I do know who he is. He's a state committeeman from Watertown.
Yes, that's
I've met
correct.
him many
Bob
times.
is a very good man,
Yes.
decent. He's working hard to try to attract different ethnicities to the
Okay.
Republican Party.
And this is
Cambodians,
And this
Vietnamese.
is through the state committee.
To the state
There's an
committee.
outreach
Yeah,
program.
that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Now,
correct.
how large is the Hispanic population in Massachusetts? What percentage? Do you have any idea?
I think we're talking. I would say about 500,000 people. I would
Which
say.
would put it a little less than 10% of the population,
About
so it's
that,
like
yeah,
8%. But
yeah,
it is the
I
largest
think that's
minority
yes,
in the
yes,
state.
But another division that we have, yesterday I wrote a memo to somebody, this media, La Raza, Radical Organization, and other radical organization, which I don't remember the names now, but they, LULAC or something like that,
Right.
they are to the left. And they, for their own convenience and to create a political cloud, they say Hispanics, okay? Hispanic try to include all the people, Spanish-speaking persons, all right? But I'm not Hispanic. I'm Hispanic, but I'm Cuban-American, okay? And people from Venezuela, Venezuelan Americans, and Santo
Sure.
Domingo. The only reason is that these people in the mentality, and it's orchestrated by the media again, is that they talk about Hispanic as a block. It's no block.
Can't be.
They have different nationalities, different ethnicities, different traditions. The only common thing among us is the language, and that's what it is. But unfortunately, nobody pay attention to those minor details.
Well, another thing I was going to bring up is, do you think that stereotypes, like in, say, in TV shows and movies about Hispanic people, do you think there's still a problem?
I think the problem is a convenience. I see the convenience of creating an issue to tell American people, look, Hispanics, you feel sorry for them, you know, and they try to create a political. It's all political. Unfortunately, that's what it is. It's nothing about nice or no, it's political and power. And certain elements of the society, whatever they are in the media and the politicians, they want power, and they use whatever they need to use to accomplish that.
But do you plan to keep the Republican Hispanic Assembly a political body, or do you plan to have some social events as well to
Well,
attract
as
members?
I said, we're starting. I have a lot of ideas. The problem, I am the man of the ideas. The problem is to convince people to participate. You know, I have ideas that the Hispanic Assembly should be some type of organization to help people with immigration, legal immigration,
Okay.
and they should be involved helping people for job opportunities and business opportunities, you know, to sometimes maybe educate people about how the system works. That's another thing that we have in this country. Hispanics in general, no, I won't say everybody, but some of them, or a good majority, they do not understand the system. They don't know what the capitalist system is. They don't know how it works. So they don't understand democracy in full extent, because they come from countries where there's no democracy. It's, everything is crooked there. So that's a problem, education. And then I remember back in 1972, I believe it was, they started with this bilingual education, okay? And I had restaurants at that time, and a lot of people, I was in Cambridge, so teachers came over there, and we argued about this, and I said, the worst thing they are doing is giving bilingual education. What you have to do is give English classes to these kids. If they have to miss 1 year of education, but give one intensive English class for a year. So when they go to classes, they understand what they're talking about. There's no you're going to create mediocrity. Well, 30 years later, or 40, history proved me right. We people, the biggest dropout situation is the Hispanics. They cannot work in a bank, most of them. They cannot work in an IBM. They cannot work anywhere because they do not command the English language.